Welcome back to the Victory Education Lounge, everyone. I'm your host, Maurice. And today, we're diving into part 9 of our series on insulin resistance. Before we begin, please take a moment to like this video, subscribe to our channel, and leave a comment sharing your thoughts or experiences below. Your engagement helps us reach more people with this vital information. Today we're exploring the hormonal havoc, how insulin resistance disrupts balance. We'll delve into the intricate web of hormonal interactions in our bodies and how insulin resistance can throw this delicate balance off kilter. We'll also discuss solutions, management techniques, and prevention strategies, along with their pros and cons, and provide real-life examples to illustrate these points. In this video, we delve into the hormonal havoc, how insulin resistance disrupts balance. Our host, Maurice, takes you on a fascinating journey through the complex world of hormonal interactions and how insulin resistance can throw this delicate balance off kilter. This video is part 9 of our comprehensive series on insulin resistance. Ever wondered how insulin resistance affects not just your blood sugar levels, but also your entire hormonal balance? Welcome back to Victory Education Lounge. I'm your host, Maurice, and today we're taking a deep dive into the world of hormones, specifically, the ripple effect insulin resistance can have on our hormonal balance. We're embarking on part 9 of our enlightening series on insulin resistance, dubbed the Hormonal Havoc, how insulin resistance disrupts balance. Our bodies are a complex network of interconnected hormones, each playing a crucial role in maintaining our health. When insulin resistance comes into play, it's not just about elevated blood sugar levels. It's about a domino effect that can disrupt multiple hormonal pathways, impacting everything from stress responses to sleep cycles. In this episode, we'll be exploring 10 key areas where this disruption is most evident. It's time to shed light on the myriad ways insulin resistance can wreak havoc on our hormonal balance. Now let's delve into these 10 key areas where insulin resistance wreaks hormonal havoc. First, we look at insulin's primary role, glucose regulation. Insulin, a hormone produced by our pancreas, is the key that unlocks our body's cells, allowing glucose, or sugar, from the food we eat to enter and be used for energy. But what happens when the key doesn't fit the lock anymore? In insulin resistance, this is exactly the case. Our cells become less responsive to insulin, leaving glucose stranded in the bloodstream. This results in elevated blood glucose levels, a hallmark of insulin resistance and, if unmanaged, can lead to type 2 diabetes. Let's consider the case of Sarah, a 45-year-old office worker. Despite not eating, Sarah finds her blood sugar levels consistently high. This is a telltale sign that her cells aren't responding properly to insulin, and glucose is accumulating in her blood rather than being used for energy. Next, let's examine how insulin resistance can heighten our body's stress responses. Ever noticed how stress seems to hit harder when your blood sugar levels are off? Well, it's not just in your head. Insulin resistance can lead to elevated cortisol levels, which in turn exacerbates stress responses. Let's take John's case as an example. John, a 50-year-old manager, has been living with insulin resistance. He's noticed that he's more easily stressed and has trouble calming down after work. That's because insulin resistance can cause our bodies to produce more cortisol, also known as the stress hormone. This hormonal imbalance can make stress feel more intense and harder to manage, just like John has been experiencing. This is a clear example of how insulin resistance doesn't just affect your blood sugar levels, it can also disrupt other hormonal pathways, such as cortisol production and stress response. From stress, we move on to how insulin resistance can mess with your appetite. Ever feel like no amount of food can satisfy your hunger? This might not just be your love for food talking, but could be a hormonal imbalance at play. Specifically, we're looking at leptin, a hormone that communicates with your brain to signal when you're full. It's like the traffic controller of your appetite. But what happens when this traffic controller goes on strike? Chaos ensues. Insulin resistance, a condition we've been exploring, can often lead to leptin resistance. When this happens, your brain might not get the memo that you've had enough to eat, leading to overeating and weight gain. Case in point, Maria, a 38-year-old chef. Despite her large meals, she found herself constantly hungry. This insatiable hunger could be due to leptin resistance associated with her insulin resistance. It's a vicious cycle. Insulin resistance can lead to leptin resistance, which can lead to more overeating, further exacerbating insulin resistance. Now let's explore how insulin resistance can affect your body's repair and growth mechanisms. Struggling with slow recovery after a workout, insulin resistance might be to blame. This condition is not just about blood sugar levels. It also plays a vital role in our body's tissue repair and muscle growth. Our growth hormone, secreted by the pituitary gland, is the maestro conducting this symphony of recovery and regeneration. However, when insulin resistance enters the picture, it's like a discordant note disrupting the harmony. The secretion of growth hormone can be hampered, slowing down the repair of tissues and the growth of muscles. Consider Tom, a 55-year-old athlete. Despite his disciplined regimen, he notices slower recovery times after his workouts. This could be due to reduced growth hormone activity, another fallout of insulin resistance. So, if you're finding those muscles aren't bouncing back as quickly as they used to, it may be worth having a conversation with your healthcare provider about insulin resistance. Remember, insulin resistance doesn't stop there. It can even slow down your metabolism. Unexplained weight gain and fatigue could signal more than just a need for more sleep. Let's consider Lisa, a 40-year-old accountant who, despite maintaining a balanced diet and regular exercise, started experiencing sudden weight gain and unexplainable fatigue. These symptoms might be more than just stress or lack of rest. They could be signs of a disrupted thyroid hormone production and conversion, a potential result of insulin resistance. So, how does this work? Normally, thyroid hormones play a crucial role in regulating our metabolism, keeping our energy levels balanced. However, when insulin resistance kicks in, it can hamper the production and conversion of these hormones, slowing down the metabolism. This slowdown can lead to unanticipated weight gain and tiredness, much like Lisa's experience. Understanding these complex interactions helps us better manage and possibly prevent the effects of insulin resistance. Remember, it's not just about insulin, it's about the domino effect within our entire hormonal system. Next up, we discuss how insulin resistance can disrupt the balance of your sex hormones. Insulin resistance doesn't just affect your waistline, it can also impact your reproductive health. When the body becomes resistant to insulin, it can disrupt the delicate balance of sex hormones, such as estrogen and testosterone. This hormonal imbalance can affect both your reproductive health and your body composition. To illustrate this, let's consider David's case. David, a 60-year-old retiree, noticed a decrease in his muscle mass and an increase in abdominal fat. These changes in body composition could be due to disruptions in his sex hormone balance, triggered by insulin resistance. This is not just about body image, but about overall health. Imbalances in estrogen and testosterone levels can lead to a range of health issues, from reproductive problems to cardiovascular disease. It's a clear testament to the broad-reaching effects of insulin resistance. From here, we'll move on to how insulin resistance can interfere with your sleep. Struggling with sleep? Insulin resistance could be a silent culprit. You see, our bodies have a hormone called melatonin, often dubbed the sleep hormone. It's primarily responsible for regulating our sleep-wake cycle, telling our bodies when it's time to rest and when it's time to wake up. However, when insulin resistance enters the scene, it can throw off this delicate balance. Insulin resistance can interfere with our body's ability to produce melatonin, leading to disrupted sleep patterns. Let's take the case of Emma, a 35-year-old nurse. Despite her best efforts to maintain a consistent sleep schedule, she finds herself wrestling with insomnia and poor sleep quality. Her struggle with sleep could potentially be exacerbated by insulin resistance-related melatonin disruption. In essence, insulin resistance can rob us of our good night's sleep by meddling with our melatonin production. Now, let's explore how insulin resistance can disrupt your post-meal blood sugar regulation. Post-meal blood sugar spikes can be more than just about what you ate. When insulin resistance enters the scene, it can also amplify the blood sugar-raising effects of another hormone, glucagon. Unlike insulin, which lowers blood sugar levels, glucagon has the opposite job. It raises blood sugar levels when they're too low, such as between meals or during exercise. But in insulin resistance, this balancing act can get thrown off. Take Mike, a 42-year-old teacher. He noticed that despite eating balanced meals, his blood sugar levels would spike rapidly after eating. This could be a sign of an overactive glucagon response. His body might be producing too much glucagon, or his cells might be overly responsive to it, causing his blood sugar to rise too high. This is another example of how insulin resistance can disrupt the delicate hormonal balance in our bodies. Finally, let's look at how insulin resistance can affect the action of incretin hormones. Incretin hormones play a pivotal role in our body's insulin release mechanism. These hormones, primarily glucagon-like peptide 1 and glucose-dependent insulinotropic polypeptide, are secreted in response to eating. They signal the pancreas to release insulin, which then helps to lower blood glucose levels. However, in the case of insulin resistance, this essential function of incretin hormones can be disrupted. The cells may not respond effectively to these hormones, leading to a decrease in insulin secretion. Consequently, this can result in elevated blood glucose levels, contributing further to the vicious cycle of insulin resistance. For example, consider the case of Naomi, a 48-year-old journalist. Despite maintaining a balanced diet, she consistently struggles with high blood sugar levels. This could potentially be due to an impaired incretin system, leading to inadequate insulin release post-meals. That concludes our deep dive into the hormonal havoc wreaked by insulin resistance. Remember, understanding the problem is the first step towards finding a solution. Stay tuned for our next video, where we discuss management techniques and prevention strategies for insulin resistance. Thank you for joining us for this exploration of the hormonal havoc caused by insulin resistance. I hope this information helps you better understand the complex interplay of hormones in your body and empowers you to take control of your health. Remember to like this video, subscribe to our channel, and share your thoughts or experiences in the comments below. Stay tuned for our next video, where we'll explore the link between insulin resistance and various health conditions. The information provided in this video is for educational and entertainment purposes only. It is not intended as medical advice or to replace consultation with a qualified healthcare professional. Always consult your doctor before making any changes to your diet, exercise routine, or starting any new health regimen.